All right. What is going on, guys? Kevin, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. And okay, I think my comments are displaying. Hope you're having a great day, Kevin, and everyone else as well too who's watching this now and into the future. My name's Odum. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. And what we do here is every day, every day we get together right here on YouTube and we live stream our process of trying to build ourselves a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. Now, with that being said, I've been doing a lot of thinking, today, but also over the past few days and weeks, just about where we should take this live stream and where we should go, and really kind of thinking about what value it's actually providing to people and seeing if there's any ways that we can think about to make some improvements with the stream. And yeah, I don't exactly know how to really kind of tackle this conversation and how to start thinking about it. But I figured what might be a good thing to do is I jotted down a few things here on a sheet and just kind of dumping in kind of what my problems and what my thoughts are. And then I figured it might be a good idea to just have a look at the analytics. So I brought up some YouTube analytics and going over the past year, seeing kind of what the trends are in these live stream episodes and how people are kind of engaging with the content. And yeah, just kind of seeing how we could make it so that it can bring the most amount of value possible. Because at the end of the day, that's I guess what it is I want to do. So anyways, this document, let's just go through this and see what we can come up with. And I'm hoping by the end of the day to just get maybe a little bit more of an idea as to what we can do on these live streams and how we can kind of structure them so that it could make the most sense for you guys that are watching. That'll bring kind of the most value. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out. And so let me start with my issues, problems, questions. So I wrote this down. And so one part for me, which is probably the biggest thing, is that there are times where I feel that there isn't much clarity in terms of what I'm actually doing, on stream, right? So I think when there's work that needs to be done on the business, when it's just I'm building components or I'm working in Figma or working in WEBFLOW, whatever, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And it's easy to just throw on the live stream and just work away. So that's all fine and dandy. And I don't mind that at all. And I think that's fine. But when it comes to thinking about the more, I don't want to say the more abstract things about business, but all the other details that go into business that have nothing to do with actually building a product, that's where I'm finding I don't know exactly how to structure the content or even what to do with these episodes to kind of convey that, number one, convey the struggle, but also to convey the moving forward in those avenues, right? And what could those avenues be? I mean, it could be how to deal with finances and company finances, how to deal with the legal issues, how to deal with things that, come up with clients, just even the day-to-day things that come with when you're running a business. And I talked about this a little bit before about, even issues with health and maintaining your health and fitness. So there's so many other things that go into, trying to create a successful business that go beyond, at least even for me, just trying to build a product, right? And trying to go in Webflow and build something. But of course, that's easy to do for me in the sense that that's what I'm really good at. That's what I've done most of my life, is just build websites. So it's easy to kind of go from that. Anyways, so yeah, lack of clear purpose. And then it brings me to point number 2 is, how useful are these streams and how much value are people getting from it? And when you look at the analytics, maybe let's just jump into this real quick with the analytics. So we have some advanced analytics here, in which I brought in a few tabs here to have a look at. And I think this one here is kind of probably the most important right now, is looking at how many people are viewing the live stream, and then also how many people are actually sticking around to watch the stream, right? Kevin. So I deleted my comment. Oh, wait, can I post this up here? I deleted my comment from the last video after finished watching it. Just felt like a lot of talk, not about Webflow, about not Webflow. But I gathered that was sort of the point of the video. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I totally get it too. Is the thought that I had when you made that comment is that, you know, if we're trying to portray Webflow as being like the tool, which we definitely want to do, but I'm like rambling on about WordPress and Ghost and all these other kinds of things too. So yeah, I could totally see that point as well too. But yeah, I do think, because you were saying, yeah, the point of the video is to kind of showcase the other options out there and not to maybe seem, you know, too biased within the field of Webflow. Okay, cool. Yeah, so getting back to this graphic here. So this is over the last 365 days, and it's showcasing, these are just the live stream videos, which are probably about like 96 or 97% of all the views on my channel anyways, for now anyways. So yeah, it's looking at, the purple line is just the number of views. So like, for example, November 29th, there was 118 views. And then in terms of percentage watched, it's 3.9%. So basically the purple line is almost always like way above the green line. And the green line is the percent completion. So how much of a video does someone watch? So basically what it's telling me, and there's a few spikes here too, where like, you know, 33 views and an 85% completion rate, like that's huge. So that's the kind of data that I think we want to see in, like, regardless of whether it's a live stream or just a regular kind of video, you want to have that good retention time so people are actually engaged in the content, right? So we've gotten to that with some videos, and then we could take a look and dive deep into kind of which videos, those ones that are actually performing. But for the most part, I think what's happening with my channel, with my live streams, is people come in, they'll tune in for like literally like a minute, and then they'll leave, right? So, and that says to me that either, number one, when they clicked on something, they thought they were going to get a specific type of content, but they didn't, so then they left, which is also not very good. Or number two, which is I think this is what it is that people, you know, they want to see the business, they love the whole idea and the journey, but they're not really interested in watching like the day-to-day kind of stuff. So they might tune in for a second or two, whatever, and then kind of leave. And that's fine. And that's why I think I have like people are subscribing, but they're not tuning in every day. So the question that I'm having for myself is, how can I get more people who are interested in this whole journey and are interested in the process? How could I maybe structure the video so that it can engage and retain more people, and in the sense basically provide more value? And then that, I think overall that'll just help my business as well too, right? So, or at least, you know, help the channel grow, which I think in turn will help the business, right? So yeah, so I could be wrong. I don't know if there's anything else that I should be looking here. Can I zoom in a little bit on this? Maybe a little bit here. Like there's lots of different types of metrics to look at, but I think that's what's really most important. I mean, I don't have any of this because I'm not a partner or what have you, so I don't have any revenue or anything like that. But yeah, I'm not really interested, like number of subscribers and stuff, like that's not a goal that I have to look at. I think it's really just kind of what the retention is. So I have another chart, I think here. Yeah. So there's this one here. What's really weird with the way that this YouTube thing works is I feel like I can't filter by or sort them by the highest. So what do we have here? Okay. So this content, what is this one? Yeah, this is the average percent viewed by content. So this is where it's kind of nice. So like with each individual episode, I can see which ones have the best performance in terms of the average view duration. So those are the videos where I can take a look and see which ones are doing really well, and seeing if I can, you know, how can I do more of that and less of the other ones, right? But unfortunately, like it's filtering everything by watch time. which is fine. But I want to filter by actual average view duration, which it doesn't seem like I can. Because if I say show in chart, it's showing it in chart, but it's not. Again, it's just going by watch time. It's weird. And it's like I can't click on this to filter, because this is what I would really like to know. How is there total? No, I don't want a total. Yeah, it's really annoying. Maybe if I exported this, can I export this? I can. So I wonder, let's just see if I can export this as a CSV. And then I could see, maybe then I could get, I could put in some headers or whatever. Because this is showing me, like, look at this one here. So the ones that have high view duration, laying down the foundation for my personal brand. So that was an interesting video for people. Coming up with 50 YouTube ideas. Launching Pixel pieces at 249. So that one had some good retention. Setting up Discord community for Pixel. That one had good retention. 45 minutes. That's actually really long. That's crazy. Setting up a reverse proxy. I know I didn't, that one failed, but of interest to people, right? So it's just kind of going in and seeing what people are kind of interesting to, updating Pixel to WEBFLOW, and seeing the ones that aren't. All right, did that download finish? I'm gonna see if I can take a quick look here. Downloads, extract, please extract, chart data. Let's just look at the data straight up. Average view duration. Whoa, this is the whole, okay, I don't think that's quite what we want. Table data, maybe that's it. And yeah, video title. Content, let's just delete this. Sorry, let me make this a little bit bigger here. Video publish date, not too important. Average percentage viewed, right? Okay, so I think we can, how do we do this? I think up here I think we add this as a filter, and then we can go sort largest to smallest, right? All right, so episode 20, okay, it's funny, so this had one view, but it was viewed like the whole way through. So anyways, this is pretty helpful. Oh, some of these aren't all just my live streams. That's okay. Okay, so this will be a good view to be able to take this data and maybe graph it up and just kind of see which ones are doing the best. Oh, I lost a subscriber on this video. Okay. And then alternatively, we can see which ones are performing the worst. Setting clear goals, finalizing on web page WebFlow, planning out our landing page, setting up Asana, modifying and launching our WebFlow one page. Yeah, so like all these ones obviously are not very popular at all. Okay. All right. So all that being said, and I just thought this was kind of interesting to just kind of look at where people are actually coming from. I actually have never taken a look at this, but what really surprised me is, United States and India are 1 and 2, which are garnering a large portion of my views, but Canada is like so far down the line. 17 views from Canada. That seems like the low number of views. 17,000. I guess maybe that's it. Yeah, I guess I don't have that many views. That means only 17 views from Canada, which is crazy. And that was probably like at least half of them was Andrea just logging in to to chat with me in the live stream. So anyways, I thought this was pretty clear, but then it kind of shows like which country average view duration is more like engaged in the actual content. And it's interesting. I don't know what to do with this information. Probably nothing at this stage of the game. But yeah, what's really important, I think for me, is to maybe take a more in-depth look as to which videos are performing the best, and that might help gauge where to go from there. Okay. So point number 3 in my whole kind of problems and things that I've been thinking about is I do feel sometimes where it's like, oh, well, I just need to stream because I'm just doing this every day and that's just what I said I'd do. And then I'm streaming, which is fine, but then I feel like I don't actually have anything to say on that particular day about business, or nothing to update or what have you. And it's one of those things too where I know it's like even when you're trying to lose weight and have a whole huge weight loss transformation and what have you, that on a day-to-day basis, you don't see too much change. Yeah, you might lose half a pound or, a quarter pound here or there, or whatever the case may be. And on the day-to-day, like every day you wake up, you don't notice a difference from the day before. But stacked over time, over a year, there's going to be like a huge difference, right? And that's what I feel like it's like with this live stream. It's like between yesterday and today, like what happened? There's like no movement. Like the bank account didn't move. Like none of that stuff moved, right? But hopefully over time, you're going to show all those little steps. It's going to build up to something much greater than each individual piece. But all that being said, I still feel like there's got to be a way though to make it so that even though I don't have anything particular to update on the actual business itself, there should still be something and a reason for what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do. And that kind of brings into point number 4 as I have an issue and a problem internally myself, is that I feel that I'm not spending enough time planning out each episode and planning out what exactly it is that I'm going to say or do, or again, figuring out what the general theme is of the episode. Now, I'm not saying or suggesting that every live stream that I do has to be this grandiose, high production kind of thing, which would be like totally impossible to do. It just takes too much time. But I still feel like even if I just took some time to say, you know what, these are kind of the things that I want to say today, because maybe this is what's on my mind and this is kind of the things that I'm working on and this is how I'm feeling about it. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I should spend a little bit more time kind of having a little bit more structure to each episode, especially moving forward, where it's not going to be, hey, I need to sit down for 2 weeks straight and just build something, right? So yeah, anyways, so I wrote this down just to kind of maybe reframe things in my mind here of what's the whole purpose of this live stream. And I wrote down, the purpose of this live stream is to document the process of building $1 million business. Like that's it. I want to document that process. And I kind of wrote this down. It doesn't mean though that this stream itself, it doesn't mean it should be boring. Obviously I don't want it to be boring. And it also doesn't mean that it should not have any kind of structure or framework to be able to tell that story, to be able to showcase the journey day by day of getting to that $1 million business. So, but maybe sometimes it is boring in the sense of, you know what, you just wake up every day and you're just writing script for videos, editing the videos, publishing them, talking to clients, responding to comments, all that kind of stuff. It's just every day there's a little bit of that and it builds, and maybe it is boring, but maybe it doesn't mean, sorry, the kids are being really loud, but maybe it doesn't mean that the actual, the way that I'm telling the story, the live stream itself doesn't mean that needs to be boring as well, right? So I don't know how to kind of reconcile that. So it's just something that's in my mind. So, and I'm also thinking, and I could be totally wrong about this, but is there a way to use this live stream as a primary tool for promoting Pixel Pieces? Now, at first I thought, maybe, I'm going to focus on making educational content for Pixel and just teaching people about Webflow and web design, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, is there a way that I could do that even within the live stream? And then kind of take 2 birds with 1 stone, in the sense that I'm not spending all this time or the time that I would spend producing these videos, I could spend producing this live stream. But then I thought, I don't think that really makes sense, because this live stream is about the business as a whole and all the parts that go into the business. But the videos are really for people that are interested in learning Webflow and web design. And that's not necessarily the same people that are going to be interested in this live stream, because they're just interested in that, hey, I have a business, or I have an idea that I want to learn how to make stickers, and I want to figure out how I could build the business around it. And then you can come here and, have a place that you can talk about it and say like, hey, I'm trying to do this, and like, well, here's what I did, and this is what worked, blah, blah, blah. And, maybe you try that, because at the end of the day, it's still the same thing about trying to get people to buy your product, I guess. Anyways, just some thoughts there. But then what could I do on this live stream that could be at least like a step or two away from helping to promote Pixel Pieces? I don't know if there's a way to keep that in mind. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's too many steps in that process from people that are watching the stream and that would actually be involved or want to be involved in using Pixel Pieces. So the only thing I could think of is maybe that people will come on this live stream and then understand and learn that, oh, I do create products and I do create resources for people to be able to build a website and learn how to do it on their own. And maybe they want to build their own website for their own business. That's the only way that I can see it maybe kind of fitting. But other than that, I don't know. Let me know if there's anything that you see or that you think of. And then it really comes down to like, what value do I want to give the audience, right? Assuming the goal, right, is to show people, well, yeah, I mean, the goal is to show people how to build a $1 million business. But then, yeah, what value can I give that to the audience? How am I saying this? How am I trying to say this? So yeah, I know what the goal is, but how do I translate what that goal is into providing content that is valuable to the audience? So, and I think I wrote down a couple of ideas of what value I would love to provide. And I think the number one goal that I would have, not even the number one goal, but the number one thing that would be, that I would love to do, is to show people that, you know what, it can be done. It's not just for, the rich or the elite or whatever that can create businesses and be successful and all that stuff. But people that think like, that's not, I'll never be able to attain that. But to get them to change their mindset, be like, you know what, if you are willing to work and be smart about what it is that you're doing, that you can create something. Yeah, maybe you're not going to get to $1 million or what have you, but if you can make enough to be able to escape the whole 9 to 5, I kind of put that in there in the point number 2, and just have enough to be able to provide for your family or even just yourself. I mean, that would be an ideal scenario if I can do that. Inspire people. Like I said, in point number 2, to inspire people to pursue their goals of getting to some point of financial freedom, whatever that means to people, to whatever that can mean to you. To me, it means a few different things. But number 1, it means moving away from the 9 to 5 and not having a boss and not being dependent on anybody else to provide the necessities that you need in order to live. And that's different for other people. Some people need, or at least they think they need, $100,000 a month in order to live in terms of the income that they love to spend. So other people need $500, because they live in a van and they're totally content and happy with that, right? So it's different for every single person, right? So yeah. And it depends on where you are in the world. Here up in Canada, the cost of living is very, very high. So you need a lot of money to be able to have, a decent life. Whereas if you're living in another place where the cost of living is significantly cheaper, then you're not going to need as much money. So anyways, that's into the weeds here. So I think that's the value that I'd love to give the audience. And I think there could be, like, how do I think about this here? So, like, I'm thinking if there's a way to, I'll just write this down here. Show the different ways that people can like accomplish the same goal. How to get to the finish line. So for example, I'm showing the journey of how it's going to work for me, or what is working for me, right? And at the end of the day, in 3 years from now, once we get to $1 million, that's going to be my journey. That was my path to success. That's where I would be like, hey, this is how you make $1 million, blah, blah, blah. And that's one way to do it. But there's countless other ways that other people have done making money, and they've done that in completely different ways. So what that means to me, so let's just put this, so what does that mean in terms of, or let's say, how do you give that value on screen, on a live stream, on screen, right? On the live stream. So this is one thing that that I thought of is, I mean, I've been talking about this before, the whole idea of podcasting, but what if this was done in a little bit of a different way, where it was not so much of a podcast, but if I had a stream where I knew I could bring other people on the stream, and then we can have a discussion or conversations about business. I mean, it could be like a podcast, it could be like an interview, or it could be specific instructions or tutorials on how to do a specific thing that is relevant to business people. So as an example, when I was in the Propel program doing the vision and validation program, we had these lunch and learns where people would come on board and they would give a quick presentation on how to do a specific thing. Like, how do you make or how do you hold customer discovery sessions with people? How do you go about talking to what's the word I'm thinking about? How do you go about talking to people when you want to extract information for why they purchase certain things, right? Or we had other people talk about, I mean, this is my alley, but like how to build a website, right? So there was these specific topics based on, you know, where you are kind of at the business level, that we would go in as a group and listen to that person talk and then ask questions. So that might be something, I think, I could be wrong, but I think that could provide value to people, where not only we could watch it live and interact with other people live, but it could also be something that would be great for people to watch after the live stream ends, right? So to up kind of that retention, it's like, hey, here's an episode of like, hey, speaking with such and such person who's going to talk about how you set up business banking accounts in such and such country, or whatever the case may be, how to talk to a lawyer, all those different things that have to do with building a business. So I like what I was saying there, and I was just kind of thinking off the top of my head. So I'm going to see if I can write some of that stuff down, because I think I'd like that. So bring guests on this show to talk about their like area of expertise, and talk about their bring guests on the show. I'll just say bring guests on the show, but then I want to say could be podcast like to interview the guest. Could be educational to discuss a specific thing that people can do with their business. And it could be, well, I think, are those the two? Did I mention anything else? So yeah, and this could be, think of like a lunch and learn, or like a brown bag seminar, like, hey, we're going to talk over lunch kind of thing, right? Excuse me. Need some water. And it could also be, this would be really kind of cool, but it could also be a question period kind of thing where, hey, this person's, and this, there'd have to be lots of planning. Say, hey, next week we're going to have, hey, like, so you just say, I get a huge guest, right? Oh, Alex Hormozi is going to come on. This is amazing, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be here on whatever, on Friday. Have your questions ready. Come on board, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So that would be really kind of cool, right? Just thinking about that, where it's like an open kind of thing, like having them come into the audience, to you guys, to give value, right? So that would be really, really cool. Now that I think about it, does anybody do this kind of stuff on a live stream? I should maybe take a little bit of a look around and see what people do on a live stream, to see if anybody does bring in guests to kind of talk like that. I would imagine so. But anyways, we'll see. Okay. Yeah. So question period. And I was also thinking, it could be like a role playing thing. So if you think about, so it could be like how to deal with customers, complaints, sales call, right? And then a third thing, I guess this is the fifth thing now, could be a critique review of like an audience business website, something to do with their business and like what, the specific problem that they're having or whatever. Again, I'm just totally thinking what it could be like, but hey guys, on Tuesday, we're going to talk about such and such on the stream. Please submit if you have any ideas on what you would like, please submit them. I don't know. And then, please submit your whatever problems that you're having, and then we'll see if we can talk about them on the live stream or something. And even having guests come on the live stream as well too, on top of, like, say we had some professional who's an accountant and they're going to come talk to us about some accounting thing. And then we had other people kind of join the stream to kind of talk to the accountant about their problem. I don't know. There's lots of different ways that we can go about this, but I think this would be pretty cool, actually. That would be really, really cool. Rolando, welcome. How you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. I loved your background set, like the old one or this current. Well, I guess maybe not this one, but do you mean the one that had the neon lights or the LED lights? That was, that was fun. But I got really tired of all the looking at all the neon this whole time. But I'm gonna bring it back. I have some other LED stuff that I want to put in this office. If that's what you're speaking to. But if it was just the one that was just a couple days ago, that was just my camera facing here and just pointing to this messy part of of the office. Yeah. Oh, so like you said you loved, but you love it, like this current one. Okay, cool. Thanks. I didn't even do anything to this yet. So I just have my piano here and I just hey, let me just throw this stupid fake flower here and put it on. So at least it does have a little bit of a clean look and I got a couple lights or whatever, but cool. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate that. Very much appreciated. But I'm going to do something on the walls until I figure out exactly how this is going to look. But anyways, just thinking about this whole concept of having people come on the live stream and discussing specific business concepts, I feel like that would be really good. And I think that would be really valuable. I remember I had a quick call with a business coach just, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. Anyways, and then he was asking me well, what is it that you're looking for as a business owner, to get at from this Propel network, from this business network? And I said to him, you know what? The thing that I want the most is I've always been looking for a group of people that I can get together with and just sit down and talk about business. And we could just go on like a round table and say like, hey, what are you working on this week? Or what are your struggles? And what did you face? What's something that you want to share with the group that we could learn from? And then we could all, like 4, 5, 6 of us, just get together and just talk about business and just learn from each other. So that to me is something that will provide the most value. So if that would be valuable for me, then I would imagine that would be valuable for other people out there as well. And if there's a way that we can do that on this live stream to have some type of like round table, higher level business discussions on certain things, but yet at the same time, we can all talk about our own individual business problems and how we can try to come up with solutions and we can learn together. I don't know. That would be really, really cool. So we're going to figure out how to do that with this live stream. So, and maybe that means something completely different that I haven't even thought of, is just building some type of community around this building $1 million business. But I guess there's got to be so many entrepreneur kind of community things out there. But yeah, anyways. So, but just thinking about the live stream, I think this would be really good. And just getting in touch with people, talking to people, making connections with other business owners, seeing if they want to come on the live stream, all that kind of stuff. That would be great. And maybe there's even a way I could get people to come in person as well too on a live stream. Bust out some epic multi-camera angles and stuff going on here. That would be pretty sweet. Right. So that's one way to bring value. So what would be another way? Right. So I'm talking about, show people how they can accomplish the goal, inspire people to pursue their goals of financial freedom. So show people that if they put in the work. So how can I convey that? And how can I tell that story on here? So I think what I can do, especially if it's just me talking to myself, well, not talking to myself, talking to you guys, but like if it's just me doing an episode, if I could prepare and talk about specific topics and specific things that, again, that are on my mind and the things that I'm working on and the things that I maybe can have an update on, maybe that's something that would be kind of valuable, where it's not so much of a review, like, hey, here's a review of my weekly stats, which again is something that we're going to do off of the live stream. Or maybe it makes sense to bring it back into the live stream. I don't know. But if there's just something where, hey, I sent off 50 cold emails to potential people that might need a website. Here's what I learned. Things like that. And that would make, I think, for interesting live streams where it would kind of be like a video where I could just make that into an actual YouTube video. But if I did it in a live stream format where I could engage with people and people could ask questions, I think that would be really, really cool. So maybe more. So I guess think of creating specific content that would work well for, I'm just going to say long form content, which is just a non-live stream video. So think of creating specific content that would work well for long form video, but plan to do it live. For example, things I learned after 10 sales calls. And there could be other things, like how I set up my banking structure. How I set up, my corporate structure. So, like thinking of like the daily business costs of running a business, right? Just daily business costs. I mean, it's pretty straightforward there. So all those kinds of things that I guess I could say, just think a bit outside of here's what I'm working on today mentality, and more of here's what is working, not working in the business, right? I think that would make more sense. I think that makes more sense. And now that I'm thinking about it too, the whole weekly business review, I think that would be something that would be really cool to do. But I think I need to figure out, again, like I'm thinking about most of my videos here on the live stream, really thinking about how I'm going to structure the live stream and almost have a really good structure for reviewing how the week went on the business. Like if there was a way that I can have nice transitions or nice screens that show up, and transitions from, oh, here's social stats, here's the amount of people, the social stats, here's the funnel statistics, all those things that I'm tracking. How can we show it in an engaging and dynamic and a fun way on the live stream? So that might work. So let me just think about how this could work. Let's, like an example week. So you could have Monday would be like a weekly recap. And then Tuesday, say Tuesday we had, Tuesday we have a brown bag guest. And then Wednesday, just like, we'll just call this, I don't know what to call it at all, like long form video or topic, right? Thursday, that could be another, maybe not a brown bag, but maybe that could be, maybe this one could be just like a podcast / interview with someone. So someone's not necessarily, because maybe more of a brown bag or an educational thing might be something that someone would have to prepare for. And maybe those are things that we don't want people to have to do all the time. I'm just totally spitballing stuff here. And then on Friday, I think it would be good. You guys could let me know what you think. Would it be really cool if we spent more of our time talking with other people and other guests about business? Or would it be having maybe like a good mix, maybe a 50-50 mix, right? Like, hey, 50-50 talking about the business, talking about how we're going to grow the business, talking about what we're doing to grow the business. And then the other half is like talking about other people, learning from other people and learning what we can do to incorporate that into our business. So another thing could be, I don't even know if this would make sense, like a book review. Where should I, like book review and talk about how, you'd like to implement the ideas. I've just read $100 million leads and this is how I'm going to deploy it into the business, and then do it for a month and then come back and talk about it. I don't know. And that could be part of the weekly recap. I'm not sure. Kevin, maybe personal development instead of looking. Sorry, I have to put my face in real close because my stupid prompter's really far away. Maybe personal development instead of locking. Does that say locking? Or maybe jumping into books? Or looking into just books? So are you talking... So, sorry. Does that mean... Like just talking about books, maybe you're saying? Like if we read about personal development or talked about personal development, I guess, sorry. Let me know if I misread that, because I'm not sure what that means with locking. But yeah, personal development. You're right. I forgot about that. That's pretty important. It's very important to me. So how do we tie that into the business? So yeah, how do we do that? So okay, here we go. Let's see. Instead of limiting yourself to just books, you can discuss a podcast you listen to or another YouTube video. Oh, okay, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, right, exactly. So right, I gotcha. And talk about things you've learned through things you learned. Say, put this through a podcast, book, video, etc. And how you'd like to implement these ideas, and and just discuss the results as well. So I like, stupid thing again. Right, so I like that. Yeah. And I think one thing here, it goes along what you're talking about though, about personal development. But it's about skill building. That's something that's super, super critical, because as a solo entrepreneur, you literally have to do the job of like everybody in a business, right? Oh, today you're the customer service person, and tomorrow you're the chief technical officer, and then you're the CEO that you got to make all the decisions as to where the company is headed. Then you're the secretary, you got to take phone calls, and you got to book things, and you have to schedule everything. And then you're the web designer, and then you're developer, then you're the content creator. Like so many different skills. So learning how to develop your skills and learn how to efficiently be good at learning skills quickly, that would be really cool. I have no idea how to talk about that, especially on like a live stream, and how to showcase that, but it's something that's super, super important. So yeah, I don't know how that fits in, but that's critical. It's a good idea. And it's the point too, like what I was saying about how there's so many other things to do in business other than me just streaming of just building the product, right? Like that's just I think even just building the product is like the small thing, right? Because there's so much more to just, I've noticing, like I have a product and I think it's a pretty good product, but I haven't had one person purchase it yet, so, and it's even a struggle to get people to use it for free. So, that's a struggle. And so there's so much more that I need to learn about business and how to get people to, use your product and all that kind of stuff. And also to know when your product is shit. Maybe my product is completely shit. That could be a thing too. So it's knowing when, knowing when to pivot and knowing when, enough is enough. So that being said, I'm talking about Pixel Pieces. I know my product of Pixel Media and building websites for customers is like super tight. And everyone that I've worked with just loves working with me. So no problems there, but maybe Pixel Pieces could have some issues. Anyways. But yeah, it's really, it's like documenting the process, but also like at the same time, Um, this is kind of cheesy, like inspiring. Like I'm not saying I want to be this guy that's like Tony Robbins and rah 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 kind of thing, right? But when I was doing stuff, for example, when I was doing my weight loss journey and I was putting that stuff on YouTube, and then I'd lost weight, and then of course I gained weight, lose weight, whatever. But that's not the point. The point. What I do remember when I was talking about losing weight and I was showing my journey, other people would reach out to me and say like, "Oh my God, your stuff is so cool. You've actually inspired me to lose 50 pounds," and I lost 50 pounds. And I'm like, just the fact that even though I embarrassed myself, put all my stuff out there, and like gained all the weight back, it's still great to know that at least I helped one person lose weight, So that's fantastic. So I guess the thing is too, is if, maybe it's cheesy, I don't know, but if people watch these videos and decide that, hey, I'm going to give it a shot, I'm going to try to build my business, that's amazing. That makes it all worthwhile. Because I think the world would be, at least economically, well, and I think people would be in a much better place if they were outside of the 9 to 5 and they were more in control of their life and more in control over where their money was coming from, and had more sense of purpose in their life. And they could wake up in the morning and say like, hey, I get to do something that I really enjoy doing, as opposed to waking up and hating what it is that you do. And again, it doesn't mean that it's not for everybody. I'm not under the illusion that everyone should be an entrepreneur, not at all. But I think a lot of people want to do it, but don't know how to take the steps. So hopefully by having a lot of long form content over time, people can watch and then be like, yeah, you know what? I could do it too. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's fun. It's fun for the most part. Yeah. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know. Please share with me any insights, or if I'm thinking of this in the right way, or if there's other things I haven't thought of, or if there's things that you would love to see on this live stream, things that you wish that you could see or that would be helpful for you as you try to start a business, whatever that business is. Let me know, because that's would be very helpful for me to know, so I could, again, figure this out to make it valuable to you and, valuable to other people out there. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm happy with what I wrote down. And I think, as I said at the beginning of the stream, if I have some kind of clear direction on where we can go forward, not of course having everything nailed down, but at least, here's the North Star, kind of have a direction. So I think we got that. I think putting all this stuff down really, really helps. And I think doing some type of podcast / live stream / brown bag seminar with other business owners and people that are business people would be pretty good. And I know it would bring value to me, so hopefully it would bring value to you. And then we could also figure out how we could, again, talk about the stuff that we're doing on the day-to-day and bring that into a framework that is easier to consume, I guess, or would make more sense in watching, and not just me, like I'm doing right now, just rambling on and on, which I tend to do. Okay, so I'm not going to spend any more time here. I'm going to wrap it up and say thank you for watching, as always. If you do like any of these videos, or you want to see me keep doing this, I don't know, give me a subscribe, and then follow along, and together we'll figure out how we can build ourselves $1 million company. Looking forward to it. And we're going to keep plugging away every single day. So we'll be back here again tomorrow for a brand new live stream. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Rolando, Kevin, thank you so much for joining in and just commenting. Always appreciate your support and chatting with you guys. So thank you so much. All right, guys. That's it for me. Have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow. I just got to figure out on my screens where the stop button is, because I have too many screens. There we go. All right, guys. Take it easy.